Sounds all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, we are broadcasting, so let me grab that link. Whoops, not that. To distribute. Here it is. All right. Oh, hi, Tasha.
Hey.
Hey. Just so you know, we just went live, and now I am putting the link in general tab. Yeah, I don't know what tab is. Chat. Uh, All right. Well, everyone, welcome to the weekly Habitat Triage. I'm Nell Shermel Harrington. I'm a developer on Habitat. So is Fletcher Nickel. And then we have Tasha, who is our wonderful senior product manager. And I love that scarf, by the way. And let me go ahead and share my screen and let's get started. All right. We're going to go meta for a second. Ah, all right. And actually, let me move that over to here, this screen, and let's just focus on my desktop. All right, so let me go ahead and take this query. I will put it in general if anyone wants to follow along. This is how we find issues to triage, things that have not been assigned a project and have not been assigned a milestone. All right, and now, well, let's go ahead and get started. We've got quite a few here, so we will get through as many as we can. And let's start off with this one. Determine default package version where possible in plan init.
Ha.
So I need to sign in. Let's do that. And then, I wonder who did this one.
Maybe 2 hours ago. Yeah. So you can see there's a reference PR there that's merged in now. This was from some work I was doing last night, just running the plan init with scaffolding, and then realized, oh, we're not passing in a package version, which is kind of, it's required for the plan to work. So I asked Ian about that, and so we had some plans to try and like determine the version of the version. So what we did is that PR basically just gives you a default version so that the initial plan stuff works, and this is basically a reminder that we'd like to make it a lot better.
Cool.
So I think that's potential future work, but it doesn't necessarily have to be by the core team either.
All right, and that. So has this work already been completed with this?
You bet, because I tripped over it last night and I fixed it.
Okay, well, I think we're good to close it then.
Well, so this one was a reminder that like we want to do more work.
Okay,
so this is like a tracer fire ahead.
Yep, yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, I'm cool with doing this as accepted minor, unless anyone has objections. And should we go ahead and put it on the core team project, or should we put it as help wanted?
I'm okay with help wanted myself.
In that case, it would be.
It will definitely be a little bit of work to figure out what's doable and what's not, but.
Right. I know we've got it categorized as less easy.
Yeah, I took a shot.
Yep. That works.
Have you noticed that we've changed our categories for ease of implementation?
Now I'm curious. I've got less easy. Oh, is it all less easy now? Oh no, there's an easy and there's a hard. Hell dive. I haven't seen that one added yet. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and then my favorite part was that Hell Dive was a rename of hard, so then we just had easy, less easy, and Hell Dive. But,
I love it. That's awesome.
Added hard back in.
That's pretty much how developers tend to estimate anyways. Is like, that's easy. That might be a bit of work. And then when you've been on it for 2 weeks, this is a hell dive.
Yep, exactly. Okay, cool. Well, I think that one's good to go then, as help wanted. So if anyone's interested in the community, feel free to take a look at this. And if you have questions, head on over into the Habitat Slack and ask questions, or you can do it here. So let's go back into here and let's go on to the next one. I saw this one come across chat. The input device is not a TTY.
Yeah. I fixed this last night too.
Oh, you did.
So the reference there, this came up in general yesterday, and we worked through it, and it does seem to be seemed legit. So it was just removing a couple Docker options if you run the like hab package build. There wasn't really an easy way around doing that. So that's basically what the PR does, is if you call that hab package build, it just removes the TTY and interactive flags. And I think if you really need it, you can use the hab Docker ops to add it back in just for that one case.
Awesome. All right, it looks like the Sentinels conveniently closed this 20 seconds ago.
Oh, nice. Cool. It's fresh.
Automatic scanning. So let's go ahead and refresh. All right, so this one, configure checks failing for second order dependencies during build due to that. Let's go ahead and take a moment to read it. I wonder if this is related to something that came up just this morning about builder dependencies not necessarily being pulled in.
So I think I meant to start in, I've got a tab somewhere where I started in as a, oh, it's on my phone. That's where it went. Okay. So I read through this, and it's a super good description of what they're seeing. The weird answer though is we're doing this 100% by design. So what he's seeing is exactly what the build system's trying to do. So this is the problem or the feature, depending, is if you depend on a library or a tool, you want to like directly add that as either a runtime or build time thing. You don't want to accidentally depend on something that's a transitive dependency, like do something else. And most build and packaging systems aren't particularly good at being able to express that, and for many reasons, it might be impossible to do that. So this is sometimes a surprising thing for people. I think I was trying to figure out how can we take this issue and almost turn it into an explanation of how the build system is doing this, because it was really well written. But so I was gonna, I could assign myself on this maybe to answer back, because I owed this person a response, and then I completely dropped it.
Okay, cool. I will go ahead and assign you to that one. And as for labels, do you have a discussion label?
That might be all right.
Student needs discussion. Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and go back into issues. Front end package version sorting incorrect.
Yeah, this feels like something we should just put on the core team.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that is a bug.
Is this where like I want the latest, but it's way down at the bottom and I get confused? Yeah, okay. Agreed.
Run into that too. So I think this one is an accepted minor. Because that should not break anything.
And we can attach it to, actually, for a milestone, I would attach it to pre-neighborhoods.
Oh, okay, cool. Who are the people in your neighborhood? All right, cool. All right, link to status page and API might be helpful. Yes. I'd say accepted. Minor. I think that is definitely needed.
Warning, no dependency packages are found.
Let's call this, let's call it a chore?
Yeah, I always look on these things so positively, like it's a feature to be more helpful.
Yeah, and this one I'm going to go ahead and put as easy. So, sweet.
Oh dear. Oh, that's even a good. I misread the second error messages. Like, yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah, cool. right, so election is never based on service health. Let's go ahead and read. Yeah, the funny thing is, I never thought my my high school civics classes would be so helpful in a technical thing, but they really are. All right, cool. Well, I think this one stays under needs discussion, but are there any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would tend to agree. There's there's an interesting discussion in around this. This is it's kind of back to the civics thing. If everyone's in the bathroom, that's like that potentially has a vote. In our case, like maybe unhealthy or in a net split, can you hold a vote at that point or not? Like, do you actually have quorum? That's a little unknown.
Yeah, maybe we need a known survivor or something. All right, well, that I think stays as it is because we want to have some more discussion on that. So let me go ahead and refresh this. And 3 service cluster depart leader means no election. Go ahead and up the text on this just a hair. Oh.
This may be related.
I believe it is. Oh, well, that's a bug if it's marked as both the leader and departed.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would I would agree with that.
Yep.
that feels like a bug.
Yep.
And something I would imagine as a team we would want to tackle that.
Yeah, I agree. So let's put that as core engineering. And do you think that needs to be pre-neighborhoods, Tasha, or can that be an accepted minor?
I think that can be in on deck.
Oh, I forgot we have an on deck. Yeah. Cool. What goes in on deck? Oh, is that stuff we want to do right after neighborhoods?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool.
Also, we're going to be doing a pretty focused spike on this type of work the 3rd and 4th week of October.
Cool. Mm-hmm. All right, right around Halloween. Cool. All right, so stay tuned on that. All right, update docs to be more clear.
Disagree.
Fletcher's like hard pass.
Oh no, you even called me out on this one.
I think we can close this one.
Okay.
We'll just never know what Fletcher wants to call runtime configuration setting variables.
Wait, how do I do thumbs up?
Okay.
Wait, that wasn't a yes/no question.
Okay. Well, what do you have something you want to call runtime configuration setting variables?
Do I?
Fletcher, or well, do you, Tasha? Do either of you?
No, I mean it's a little long, I guess. What we had been doing is kind of thinking about like I think that the phrasing for callbacks and hooks confuses people. So I had been adding sort of around callbacks are build phases and hooks are run by the supervisor.
Oh, yeah.
And so that I think really clarified the docs. And then then Fletcher was like runtime configuration setting variables is a terrible name. So I was like looking for maybe an improvement, but we can open this up to the community, close this, and then if you want to reopen it with your suggestion, it's here for you.
Cool. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, we need a better, just a shorter term for what this is. I mean, that describes exactly what it is. And I can't think of a much shorter one that's very clear that this is like you get this stuff at runtime. We're also a little like adverse to acronyms usually in Habitat, so I wouldn't call them RCSVs.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Have config deploy CLI docs. Oh, yes. Let's see. I remember we discussed this a bit last time. I'm probably gonna have to.
Yeah.
Let's see what this is.
So yeah, the dashes. Now that I remember this, so I think Tasha, you had found a couple with the config apply that shows like have butterfly under the covers, which is a bit of an implementation detail right now that I would rather hide. The other ones, though, I think that's the default way that our CLI parser clap will show subcommands, just putting dashes, and that's not the best, although it's super consistent.
Yeah, I think the thing I was worried about is if it wouldn't work with a dash, because when you do like show me this command and it has a dash, and then I think a couple times I typed it and it just like doesn't work. And so that's like kind of why I was calling it out. But
in that case, probably the minimum we can do is see if there's a reasonable way in clap, or if, to sort of change that, and perhaps even a question back upstream to be like, is this sort of intended? I guess you're right. I could see that being a little confusing. We've got a couple that just so happen that they would work, like hab-sup. But then if you get into the subcommands of hab-sup, then it's like, doesn't work.
Yeah. And so I was trying those all out, and that's kind of how we ended up with this ticket. But I did manually document them correctly in docs, but that's going to get out of date pretty fast.
All right.
Yeah, and I guess the usage string is right, at least, as I'm looking through these.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we want to label this documentation, or?
It's CLI.
Oh, CLI. Okay, cool. And is this something we want to dedicate to a project?
Just leave it to hanging out for now.
Just leave it hanging out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Works for me.
Wait for someone beside me to complain.
Okay, sounds good. All right, cool. All right. Let's go ahead and refresh this. All right. Endless loop in Studio when you forget to type an origin for a package. I have experienced this as well, I believe. All right, this is definitely a bug.
Yeah, that's not good.
Jamie's already done this, so I think this should be core engineering.
Yeah.
Would this be on deck?
At a minimum. I've found another, there's another thing that I'd like to fix, and I didn't file an issue for it, is if the package doesn't contain a runnable service, I mean, the supervisor freaks out in this very indirect way because it doesn't even bother to do a sanity check before. And if it finds that it's not a service package, what does it do? It would probably do a similar logic to this, which is throw up its arms, and then the supervisor would probably keep trying to re-add the service. So it would have like probably the same failure stuff, and I'd like to fix that too.
Cool. All right. So next up, add an article about using Go plus Habitat.
This was me grabbing a conversation happening in general that seemed like we should turn it into a blog post. Yeah, so it looks like Dan DeLeo also linked it to another issue that he saw. So I think this was kind of like on my vague to-do list. I'm not really sure I could push this completely over the line, but I kind of copied all the context from people discussing how to do this properly and thought maybe we should just add it to docs instead of making it kind of more of a Slack support thing.
Right. Yeah, longer term, we do have some kind of, there'll be some challenge around how do you potentially ferry some secrets or credentials in a way that doesn't get put into your code base.
Right.
I could see this being useful for Builder. It's just it's tricky to figure out how to do that in a reasonable way.
Right. So, are you thinking accepted minor or help wanted?
Probably help wanted for this one. If this is like, if this was to make like a blog post or something.
Yeah.
we'd be really happy if somebody was to do that for us.
So community members, if you are messing with Habitat and Go and would like to contribute, we would love a blog post related to this. All right, so let's go on back and refactor origin. This is true. Yep, this is something we should do. So I will put this in core engineering. I'm thinking in either accepted. Well, this could. Does this seem like something that could break things?
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is either likely to be handled pretty quick or punted off,
right?
To on deck, but
I know Protobuf has some built-in stuff. It's supposed to be backwards compatible when you change the fields, but after my mega database transfer back before ChefConf, I'm a little wary of that. I'd say accepted major for this offhand, but I'm absolutely willing to change that if it turns out to be something different.
Yeah, right now I think Sleem, Josh, Jamie probably have like reasonable context around that one. I'm not too sure myself.
Yep. All right, well, let's do accepted major for now. We can always change that if needed. So discrepancy and error message versus help output. Oh, they use the template. How nice.
I remember this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. This was an interesting case where the last argument provided, I think, was it could accept multiple ones, and it seems like clap is trying to be really helpful, and either you can use like multiple dash dash bind with values and then another dash dash bind with a value, or I think you can do dash dash bind and then space delimited multiple values, or with a comma. And so I think it was getting confused between, it just thought our package identifier at the end was just like another bind value. And I'm hoping there might be a way with clap we can say maybe don't do the space and comma, delimited ones. I don't think that would necessarily break anybody. I think it's just maybe a little more useful than we want, but
want to do a help wanted on that one?
That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
This is now the second or third one that I know involves the clap CLI parser, so that's interesting.
All right, cool. All right, add thread name to builder logging output. This is a very hard thing to deal with. I have run into this personally as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably just a minor oversight. Yeah. We typically we have been reasonably good about, if we spawn a thread, is giving it a name, and man, does that ever help.
Cool. All right. Next up, conditional view with slide toggle. Oh.
I think this is just misfiled. I wonder if this is one of those ones.
Oh, it was removed from in development.
I think probably I'm confused. Let's. It's either a duplicate because it shouldn't have been removed. So it should either have been closed as duplicate, or it's one of those ones where somebody forgot to say that it was closed and then moved it off the board, and then it ends up in triage again. So I'll just, if you shoot me that link on Slack, I'll follow up on that one.
All right, cool. Let me put that in real quick. And where's Tasha? There's Tasha. All right. Cool. All right, sent over to you. All right. All right, cool. What did I do? Oh, yep, there we go. All right, so tracking issue up. This should be triaged. So let's, and this is done actually.
Nice.
I think that's what I released yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, I closed this in favor of another one. So let's go ahead and say closed as duplicate. The linked issue in the first comment. All right. That one I missed closing. Cool. All right. Access login should include originating client IP.
That's where I left it.
Yes.
This was something from one of the last like issues that I saw, which was I was looking at our API proxy access logs, and I couldn't get the actual like originating client IP. I could only get the one from like our load balancer. And I believe Celine was doing some work to actually give us some access logs. And if I can find that, I'm going to link to this one because I'd like that as a bonus.
Cool. All right. So for projects, I'd say this is core engineering, and this feels like accepted minor to me.
It's going to help us certainly to to operate and support.
Cool. All right. Need package compatibility package page for Linux and Windows-based packages. Yes, looks like David's already self-assigned this, so I'd put this in core engineering and accepted minor. As it looks like work is already in progress for that. Cool. All right, let's do this one. Add metadata to package to indicate the source code revision was built from. Yes, that would be quite useful. Okay. Do we want to do this as core engineering?
That would probably make sense.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'll say accepted minor on this one. Cool. Tasha, if any of these ones I'm assigning as accepted minor look like they should be on deck, please just let me know. Cool. All right. Add ability to enter Docker credentials for Origin. All right. So this looks like a UI one.
I think this might be a duplicate.
Okay.
Yeah.
But shoot me the link and I'll make sure.
You bet. All right. Compiling takes longer than it should.
Aw.
This is true. I noticed whenever we're in a room together, we can tell who's compiling because the laptop sounds like it's about to take off. All right.
Oh yeah. This may have gotten fixed, or it might still be a problem. So I guess it's probably still a problem until we've realized it's not.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we want to put discussion on this, or?
We could probably roll that into a minor. This is if people are still having like super long compilation times on Builder, and if we can fix it, we will collectively save ourselves a whole lot of time.
Cool. All right. RFE. What's an RFE? I know what an RFC is.
Yeah, what was explanation?
Oh.
Or egg?
He wants an egg. All right.
I'd be tempted to maybe throw a discussion on that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a little stale, but it's at least in the not trivially easy.
Correct. Let's do that. All right. I wonder if maybe he meant RFC.
Maybe.
Yep. All right. Reformat the generated manifest HTML. Okay. Should we do it looks like it's already assigned, but it's after the pre-neighborhoods milestone. We can do this as an on deck, I think. And core engineering. Cool. All right. Inconsistent behavior with config apply. All right, still reading. Should we do a discussion on this one? I'm thinking that. Again, it looks like there's some thoughts on it, but with the nuance, we need some more input. So I will go ahead and put that as discussion. And
Sounds like Ian thinks it might also be documentation.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll do those documentation that needs discussion. All right. Building.md updates.
I totally agree. Someone should write this. I removed this from David Reedy's plate because he's not the right person to write this documentation. This is developer documentation, so it should be written either by Ian or a member of the core team.
Okay.
Agreed.
Ian or another member of the core team. Okay. In this case, yeah, it should be core engineering then. And milestone.
Probably on deck.
Yeah, I think so. We're gonna need that pretty quickly.
It's likely to change in the near future, yeah.
This is true. Yep. All right, so let's go on back. Roadmap.habitat.sh. Yes, sure.
Maybe put in accepted minor and on deck. But
I don't know if I can put it in both.
Then just put it on deck, because this is one of those things that'll take 5 minutes that no one's ever going to do unless we attach it to a real milestone.
Sounds good. All right, cool. Panic on binary files. Ah!
Oh.
All right, we have a confirmation of that from Matt.
Yeah, that's
yep.
a bug.
Yep. All right.
We can fix that. Oh man, that's unfortunate. And I guess that's, can't remember what that is. Sort of CLI and supervisor. It's in the core module, but yeah. So I guess it affects the supervisor and the CLI.
Okay.
Maybe even the studio.
All right, cool. All right, we're almost there. We may actually get through all of the ones on Habitat.sh this time. Oh. Yep.
This is more your wheelhouse now. That sounds about right to me, but
Right. I'd say core engineering, and that I'm wondering if it should be accepted major, because that could potentially break things no matter how close we check it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and
compatible with, oh man, wow.
Right. All right.
Oh, this is something that we're using internally in Builder, probably, right? Which is has an older dependency, right?
Yep. So I'll do that as accepted major. All right. Pagination on community events page. Okay.
Is
there any chance this has been somehow magically fixed since June, or?
Yeah, because we redid our community page.
That's what I'm hoping.
So I think this might be done. Yeah.
It's separated out at least.
Yeah, I think it's fine now.
Okay. And I will go ahead and close it. Here's to been built with. All right, and then package splits. I remember this coming up beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're necessarily any closer at the moment, but the discussion's been good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think were this to move forward at all, like, I don't know if I'm mentally ready to start thinking about that till after our composite plans and packages are done, only because that is probably the next most major change to things.
Yeah, I think this I would put needs decision.
Oh, we have that. Cool.
Yep. Because it seems like the discussion has been had. And the question is, do we put it in core engineering, or? I guess it does need to be made by core engineering.
It would be a pretty big challenge, I would think, right now for somebody in the community to have a swing at this. I mean, it's certainly possible.
Yeah, I don't know if I even want to put a milestone on it at this point.
I guess without a decision, it's hard to know. So
right. So let's leave that as needs decision, but in the core engineering project. Cool. All right. Need target / cell specific hooks.
Oh. Yeah, I agree with this one. I wish we had done this out of the gate. If we had put like .sh on the end of our run and health check, we would know a lot more about how the supervisor could invoke it without falling back to that shebang line. I think we can even do this like as new functionality and falling back to an old behavior. So it would be super nice to have that.
Right. I might. Yeah, I don't know of a milestone to attach this to other than maybe accepted major. But it looks like it was accepted minor and then it got removed.
I guess if a group of us was nerding out on the supervisor and had enough cycles, I would want to see this tackled, but it's not hurting us at the moment. Right. Just well, I guess not directly. There's a couple things with the way the hooks are working right now that are annoying me, and this could be a way out.
I think I might leave it as core engineering for right now then, because it still needs discussion.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, it definitely needs a discussion.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. We got through all of the outstanding issues in this filter in the Habitat project. I know there's been discussion of doing this for the core plans repo as well. I'll go ahead and pull that up, but I may want to hold off on that until we get issues and such a little more cleaned up. And we also are implementing a team internally to test core plans when they come in, so I might hold off onto that as well. But Tasha, Fletcher, I'm curious as to your thoughts.
Yeah, let's have, so we're going to have a kickoff meeting with some of the people who are going to start helping sort of shepherd core plan maintenance going forward on Thursday. And then I think we should kind of have a conversation about where that triage session lives, because I think it's, you know, this took us like an hour, and core plans has a big backlog. So we might need to do like a core plans backlog bash basically, and then start trying to do the two together in the future. And also,
get rid of all the dupes.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that about concludes it then. Thank you so much for enjoying us, everyone. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. This has been fun, and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thanks, Mel. Bye.
Bye.